What's good, gang? It's your boy Some Thug. And with Funcom's recent mid to end game live stream, those of us unfortunate enough to not have closed beta access got a lot more information on the game just a week before launch. In this video, I've gathered everything that I thought was important to save you the trouble of having to watch a 2-hour live stream. The first major news we got was a melee rework, as melee attacks now cost stamina.
So heavy and slow blade have been separated as attacks. So a heavy staggers people now, and then a slow blade finishes them off, or goes into the slow blade attack. So all attacks have now got proper stamina costs attached to them. Mm-hmm. And then in addition, if you're in a place where you're getting into the stun lock situation, you get an ability which is called Second Wind. It just pops on and starts to restore your stamina bar quickly so you can dodge out of any sort of stun lock in that situation.
I can't lie, the melee system does sound okay, but the second breath system, it sounds like it was just what was needed to stop the infinite stun locks. Granted, if you're a player that burns through their stamina bar, it will still happen. You'll just be delaying the inevitable as you'll get a second breath and lose all your stamina again. Stamina management is still key. However, with that being said, it does suck that we weren't able to get a preview of this system. The next thing I want to go over is the devs confirming that there are different worlds coming to Dune Awakening. This was one of the main reasons I fell in love with this game. With the base experience feeling like a PvE survival that slowly turns into like a PvP hero shooter almost. It always felt as if there were two separate games given different experiences.
This is the overland map. And this is, again, one of the things that I think kind of breaks us away from your standard survival game. This is where we have the ability to infinitely expand this game, where we have multiple maps that players can go to. We're able to expand here for a long time, and this is kind of part of what, again, we wanted to do to make this a coherent universe, right? And make Dune feel like something that, we're going to be working on and adding to for a long time.
So post-launch, there will be new locations that show up here.
Yes.
We'll have events that have locations here for short durations, right? For to shake things up, and eventually, when we release huge content drops, they'll be accessible through the overland map.
Exactly.
Yeah. With different worlds, who's to say what we will do next? We were shown where and how to pay our taxes, as well as how the taxes are calculated.
And this is where you pay. This is the imperial consulate, as we call it. This is where you go to pay your taxes to the Imperium. So the first sub-fief console that you place on Arrakis, the basic one that you place in the starting area, you don't have any taxes to pay on that. But once you get a bit further into the game and you start building bigger bases, you pay taxes. Once you start expanding that land claim, which you do through these land claim extenders, you start paying more tax. So the idea is that the larger guilds who have more members, who are more capable of achieving things in the game, they have a higher tax rate because they're building out larger spaces. And that, that's our way of making it fair for people who only play solo as well, so they don't have as much tax to pay.
We were shown how the transport ornithopter works. I wonder how it'll work in terms of griefing others. Can I grab anyone's vehicle, like with a cargo bob in GTA 5? Or does carrying a vehicle has some correlation to its permissions? Before, Funcom mentioned how if you were to take a break from the game, you can store important items at a social hub's storage or bank. They showed us exactly how this would work in-game. And honestly, I can't be upset with a storage with 1500 volume. The server mesh and stability looks good. There were a few dead giveaways and a little hiccup, but all in all, it looked and worked fine. Funcom also held a stress test in their closed beta test and blessed us with some footage. Granted, it's roughly 40 visible players, which is about a little bit more than a max guild. There's no telling how many people are actually here. And with that being said, it looked to be running fine with no signs of server issues. The preview of the Deep Desert was amazing. From the spice harvesting to the ringworm, the Deep Desert definitely gives you that high risk, high reward dopamine hit. Seeing that large scale production, worms jumping all over, and the looming threat of other guilds wanting that good spice, I feel like I'm already hooked and I haven't even tried it. However, I know not everyone likes PvP, and that's fine. Funcom has thought about you guys as well. Upon entering the Deep Desert, there will be a PvE zone, allowing entry without being camped or, as some say, ganked. You can build here. As they mentioned, it is the best place for a forward operating base. In this PvE zone, there will also be enemy camps and test stations. That way you can get a slight taste of what's out there in the vast deep desert.
I know people are really worried about doing PvP. There's a whole section here, it's 24 kilometers long, where you can actually go and do the PvE part. And we're about to see, well, this will take a few seconds. And this is one of the PvE segments of the Deep Desert. And what you'll see here is that we've surveyed one square. And just to give some context, that's one of 81 squares within this map. So there are 81 of these squares. It's huge.
Yeah.
There was a lot more information shared, such as the difference between credits and cash, that being banked and unbanked Solari. If you're looking for more information that I didn't talk about, I definitely recommend you watching the actual live stream, as you will get the information from the source. It's your boy Some Thug, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on June 5th.